So, I never actually went to bed. Um, Hi, Wednesday. I'm going in for truck, which is something I don't often do. But I decided it'd probably be better if I just stay up and, um, go do that and then sleep while everybody is out of the house. So what I've been doing, other than talking to Patrick here, we're planning stuff, don't worry about that. What I've been doing is, going through and kind of just funneling all of my stuff onto that 8 terabyte drive, which I reformatted after clearing out everything that I needed from it. And now I'm just, like I said, funneling all of my recordings, all of the VODs onto it. Because this thing is 8 terabytes, it would be best to have all of this stuff on there. So that's what I'm doing, and it's gonna be a while. It'll wrap up while I'm out of the house, but it's definitely something that needed to be done. That because it will take so long, something like this was kind of needed for me to actually sit down and get it going. I expected the format to take longer, and it didn't, but that's neither here nor there. Now it's pretty much taken care of, or will be by the time I get home. So, hooray for administrative stuff. I have some exciting news to share with you today. Technically it was last night at this point, because, sunlight, but, ended up going and getting ready for my vacation. Now, you might be asking, what vacation? You haven't talked about a vacation on the blog, and that's right. But I have on the streams and on, the podcast. In April, I am going down alongside Ben, Patrick, and our friend Connor, to go see Jordan and go to Retropalooza, specifically Retropalooza Houston. And I bought my flight tickets today, and I'm super excited. Super, super excited, because that is something that has been weighing on my mind, because flights can be expensive. I ended up finding a good price, though, but it is one of the furthest airports from my house, which does suck. But for the starting price being like $100 cheaper than any of the other prices I was seeing, I think that little bit of extra distance is worth it. So I'm excited. I probably shouldn't shake and jump too much, but I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I've known Jordan for like 10 years, and we've never met in person because I've never been able to afford it until now, and I'm so freaking excited. And I will continue to talk about it on streams and on the podcast, and I'll probably mention it here and there on the blog as well, because I'm just so goddamn excited. I'm so good. I'm so excited I can't even form words correctly. So, this might hurt to look at a little, but there is something I would like to show you. This is the MacBook that I found at the dump the other day, right? Well, it turns on. And you can see, kind of, that it is reading that it is at 97%. But because this screen is so messed up, can't really mess around with it. So, what I did was I bought this. This is a USB-C to HDMI, which, considering it doesn't have any real HDMI out, is probably the only way I'll be able to put it up to another monitor to test and look around with it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll report my findings shortly. Alright, it seems like the unfortunate news is that it's not really doing anything. I've tried 3 different things to plug it into, and now I have no idea what's going on here. Which is a little unfortunate, because this is not the normal screen, because normally it would have, like, the battery percentage up here and shit. Although I guess this is probably a boot screen, if I had to guess. That's probably the Apple logo that's distorted in the center here. But I can't really do much when I can't tell what I'm looking at. So I guess I'm just gonna have to wait until I can get the stuff to repair it. Which is unfortunate, but what can you do? You know? I may have spoke too soon. Oh my lord. Okay. Okay. I can make this work. Oh, I can make this work. I just need time. After a few simple steps, reinstalling, I guess, macOS is going surprisingly well. Welcome to High Sierra, I guess. I didn't expect it to be that quick and easy, but we're here. Now I have to just set up my my Apple ID and stuff to be able to get it working in full. And then after that comes dealing with this. But for now, I have a Mac. Well, the deed is done. Today being Saturday, you might notice the bar is gone. And it is a bit disappointing. Because it was a nice bar. It was a really nice bar, and just, we weren't using it, so we determined it was better to gain that space back. And we gained, like, a lot of space, because, like, this line, I don't know if I'm pointing at it correctly, but this line of brown is probably some kind of glue, which, considering this is the outline of the bar, pretty much. That was on the front of the bar. So we were losing from here to here, and then pretty far ways back, like maybe here-ish. And then there was some space behind the bar, but not enough, realistically. But, having the space back is nice, and you can hear the echo. Echo! 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 I like echoes. Can you tell? But gaining the space back is pretty nice, especially once we do the rest of what we're planning on doing down here. I don't know how much I've spoken about it, or how little. But we have plans, and it involves dealing with the rest of the room. And probably painting the ceiling because of the, that hole. Which I don't think I've shown it patched up yet, but it's patched up. We have a lot going on. And that's why streams have been all over the place this last week. Hopefully now that the bulk of the pains are done, we'll be good. Do you have any words of wisdom to give to the camera?
Walk out the door, you see someone that you know, and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
No, just a longing stare. Peabody. Peabody. Hi. Hi. It's Monday. There was a Pokemon Presents today. And I gotta admit, a little underwhelming. They talked about Worlds. They talked about Masters EX. They talked about Unite. They finally are giving us Pokemon Sleep, like 3-4 years later, maybe even more. And none of that really stood out to me. People who are actively playing those games are probably excited because there's a lot of stuff going on with them. Like Zacian coming to Unite, new event versions of Leon, Hop, Marnie, and Bede for Masters EX. Pokemon Sleep being a thing at all. They also introduced a new accessory, the Pokemon Go Plus Plus, which is really weird of a name. But it functions pretty similarly to the Plus. It's just, it has a Pikachu in it now. It's probably closer to the Pokeball controller that came with, Let's Go. Except instead of a Mew, it's a Pikachu. The biggest thing was the Scarlet and Violet DLC. Oh god. The Treasures of Area Zero, Part 1, the teal mask, and Part 2, the indigo thing that I can't remember its name. Those are coming out later this year. Fall and winter, I think it said. Which is cool. But, you know, not for a while. It just doesn't really help us here now playing the game on Twitch. So we'll have to come back to it probably. But a lot of people were expecting the Pokemon Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games to come to Switch Online because those just came out. It would drive a lot of sales. No. And I said this in our on Discord with the boys. Nintendo is not really known for doing the obvious choices. Like, it would be obvious to drop these onto this service to drive sales to this service. They're a business. It would make them money. But no. It would make sense, but they're not known for making the decisions that make sense. So, like, I can't say I'm surprised, but I am disappointed. I would have liked to have those games on there. It would have been great to have the online battling and trading and anything to do with Emerald, with multiplayer. It's just really disappointing. Really disappointing. But, you know, it's Nintendo. It's Pokemon. What can you do? So, yeah, just not disappointing per se as a whole, but definitely very lackluster. Oh well. Now if you'll excuse me, I have DLC to go buy. Look at this. There's a lot of stuff here. You could probably kind of read that, if not entirely. But, one of the things I set out to do today, before I have to go to work later, is I wanted to make sure I had all of the Pokemon Scarlet videos exported. So when I stream, I also record all of the streams locally. I've probably talked about that before. So one of the things that I have to do, and let me mute the TV, just so it's not overbearing. One of the things that I have to do is, if I want to upload them to the VOD channel, I have to export them, because I record as a track for my microphone, a track for Discord, especially for Pokemon when I have Patrick and later on Lucas started joining us, a track for my desktop audio, and a track for my capture card. Now, the desktop audio goes hand in hand with the alerts because they would play through the desktop audio, obviously, But having the ability to mess with those individually is really helpful, because, for example, in Pokemon, let's say Patrick is here for volume and I'm down here, I would need to either bring Patrick down or bring me up, and if we're both on the same audio track, I can't do that very easily. So having us on separate tracks makes it easy to go like here to here, but now we meet in the middle. And that's why I do it that way, but because of that I then have to export them to be able to upload them, which can be a pain in the butt sometimes, but at the end of the day it's for the best, because it just results in a higher quality video, in my opinion. So now I have everything up until last night done. Well, not done because it's still running, but set to export. It's going. And that was the main thing that I set out to do today. And I don't really have anything else planned other than tonight's stream. So I'm gonna have to call this week here. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Hope you had yourself a damn good one. And I'll see you next week.